Welcome to Life Lessons with Dr. Cunningham, where who you are matters more than what you do. On this channel, we are featuring high level professionals who are going to share their life experience, their practices, their routines, and lessons that they've learned through their life. And welcome so much to my channel, and thank you for joining the conversation. Today, I have Dr. Alesia Burge. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Dr. Cunningham. My pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's definitely a pleasure to have you here today. And if I may, just share a little bit about you, and the with the audience. I'd like to share this Dr. Alesia Burge has 10 years of diverse dental experience, where experiences with fixed and removable prosthodontics. Her education is from Tufts School of Dental Medicine, University of Connecticut, where she received her master's in public health, and also attended the University of Connecticut to
Yes.
receive her bachelor's degree in biology. Now she is currently working at iSmile Family Dentistry
Yes. And also Dental Arts of Vernon.
and Dental Arts in Vernon. Thank you so
Yes.
much. And
Yeah.
on top of all of that, too, you are a mom and,
Yes.
and a wife, right?
Yes. Mom, wife. My daughter's 1 and my son is 3. Yes.
Mhm.
And I also
That's awesome.
I'm also an author. So wear multiple hats and I love every minute of it.
That's cool. Definitely that is the I would say new age 21st century woman,
Yeah.
professional woman, where we are able to carry multiple hats and to do it graciously and gracefully.
Well,
And I want to thank you so much for being on the channel
it's
today.
my absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me, Dr. Cunningham.
I
Yes,
just want to
Dr.
make sure that
Cunningham.
people are aware of the
Yes.
fact that we've known each other. I don't know how many years now. I think I started working at Klingberg, what was it, 2005?
Around that time, yes.
So we literally have known each other since, and we first started working at what was the subacute unit over at Klingberg Family Centers.
Yeah,
Overnights? Did you work third shifts?
I did. We
Yeah,
actually
so
worked together.
that's how we met. So it was because we were both working
Yeah.
overnights or third shifts at subacute unit that was for children and adolescents that
Yes.
had psychiatric diagnoses. And it's been like literally, I remember that we would have different conversations about career. And
Oh,
now, of course, I don't think any one of us, maybe we were thinking about it separately. I don't think we had the conversation of becoming doctor, like
yeah.
Dr. Cunningham and Dr. Burge. But at the same time, I think it's awesome and kind of like a full circle moment for us to be able to have a
Exactly.
discussion about, literally both of us being at this point doctors in our career. And we started working third shifts
Yeah,
at a subacute unit.
I was doing my master's in public health at the time, and this is before you even moved to, I believe, New Hampshire, is where you went to. Where did you go to school again?
I ended up going to school in New Hampshire, but at that point in time,
Yeah.
when I was at Klingberg, we were both working at Central Connect. I was actually going to school, excuse me, at Central Connecticut State
So, yes.
University for my master's in marriage and family therapy.
Yeah. So we both were
So
doing our
it's
masters at the time and kind of discussing possibilities of what we were going to do. And it's
yeah,
amazing to see everything come full circle. I'm proud of you. I
and
appreciate
I'm
you having
proud
this
of you too.
platform. Thank you. I think it's so important to talk to the person behind the profession, because most times people just see, you're a doctor, you're this, and they don't see that there's a person, there's a human being behind that.
That's
And
right.
it's
That's
just so
right.
important to really cultivate those relationships. And it makes it even better when you're in practice and you can kind of know a little bit more about that person, who they are, what they stand for, what their beliefs are. So I
That's
appreciate you creating
exactly
this platform for professionals.
Yeah, definitely. And that's exactly the reason why. Like you said it so
Yeah,
eloquently, because there's an opportunity for people to really get a chance to kind of, understand our thinking and our
yeah,
mindsets
a
behind what
process.
we do. And of course, yeah. I mean, I'm a therapist, so people focus on content and I'm like, hold on, what's the process?
Yes,
Because people start
absolutely.
talking about greatness, or there can be a young person, or maybe even someone that's considering a second career that can be watching this and say, well, how do I get there? Is it
True.
going to be possible? Because I've had conversations with
Yeah.
people that have, kind of had the dream or thought about becoming a doctor, or being able to go to a higher level of education, or to go to a certain place, that they want to within their career, but for some reason felt like a sense of hesitancy because they were unsure within themselves if they would be able to. But then to be able to have sort of, to sit in on a conversation amongst people
Absolutely.
that have accomplished things that they've been thinking about for years, and to be able to say, well, hold on. they
Yeah.
can do it, so can I. Or
Yeah.
how do I change my mindset in order to be able to become what it is that I've been dreaming about becoming for so many years?
You're
And so
right.
I'm so glad that we've had, an opportunity to be able to meet to discuss that.
Yeah.
And my hope is that we are able to inspire other people to be all that I believe they
Yeah.
were God and divinely ordered to be anyway. hmm
Yeah.
hmm I think that's awesome. Well, thank you. So, we're just going to dive right into it because
Yeah.
today we are here just to have a great discussion. Two professional women, where, this particular channel came to mind for me was it was around the idea of being able to establish a platform where professionals can discuss more about who they are. And
Yeah.
the reason why I say who they are rather than what they do is because a lot of times when you end up on different social media platforms, everyone's having to share everything regarding their expertise. Now, it doesn't mean we don't love our expertise, but it means that there's a lot more to us than just what we went to school for or our
Yeah.
years of professional experience. So, us being able to get an opportunity to talk about our lives,
Yeah.
what makes us tick, what keeps
Mhm.
us fueled and going day to day
Yeah.
is the reason why this channel even exists right now.
Yeah.
So, if I may just ask you to share a little bit about yourself, like where did you grow up? Where did you come from? Meaning
Yeah.
like, you know, in the world, here in Connecticut, wherever you'd like to begin.
Sure. So I was actually born in Kingston, Jamaica, actually. And so I spent pretty much half my childhood in Jamaica and half my childhood in Hartford, Connecticut. I was raised in a two-parent household in Kingston, Jamaica. Um, my parents really just instilled in us the value of hard work, the value of education, and the fact that if you have a really strong education, it can take you very far. Um, have like a big family. My maternal grandma had 9 children and my paternal grandma had 12 children, so I was always surrounded by just a lot of love, a lot of support. My uncles and aunts were ever present in my life, and my cousins, and they just always gave me a lot of good advice. And my parents, my mom's just a very strong woman, and they just always instilled the value of really being diligent, being respectful, and just above everything. They just always said, put your education first above anything. And that's kind of, what I've lived by all those years. Um, when I was around 12 years old, I moved from Jamaica to Hartford, Connecticut. It was a little bit of a culture shock for me. But, over time, I got acclimated to the culture. I did, my went straight to Hartford High School. Then, like you said before, I went to UConn for undergrad, did my bachelor's in biology there, did a master's in public health, and then went on to dental school at Tufts University in Boston. So, it's been a beautiful career so far, and I look forward to kind of go into a little bit more with you.
Great, great. Yeah. So can I ask you this first? Because you're talking about one major life transition
Yeah,
from you know, Kingston, Jamaica
yeah.
to Hartford, Connecticut. What was that like? What were some of the differences or even similarities
Oh,
between
yeah,
like
it
Jamaica and
actually was a very big transition because it was just much stricter in Jamaica. Like for instance, I went to a Catholic high school for a few months, and you had to wear a certain uniform, you had to wear your hair a certain way, you had to kind of address the teachers a certain way. And then when I came to this country, it's just you could wear whatever, not whatever you want, but you could, wear your, regular clothes and wear your hair however you wished. And um, I'm not saying either way is wrong or right, but it just definitely was a transition. Like, oh, you're allowed to do that, whereas before it was just so strict that we were not even, able to. Also, just in terms of like language, obviously Jamaicans we speak English, but there's a certain accent, associated with that. So kids would just, say, hey, can you say that? Can you repeat that one more time for me? Like, I love your accent, So I just wanted to just focus on like just saying what I wanted to say instead of like, having someone hear my accent all the time. And it was a transition because it's a different culture. And eventually you get used to it though. And everybody was for the most part like really kind and supportive, and wanted to just see me do well in that transition. So yeah, it was good times.
Yeah, it sounds like in a way too, you're saying that your life in Jamaica prepared you
Yeah.
for academically and regarding here. And the reason why I'm saying that too is because of what you're sharing as far as your experience of the discipline that you had while you were in Jamaica and the certain requirements that were expected of you. That from your experience, it sounds like you're saying it was a little bit more lenient in the United States, to be honest.
Yeah,
It
when I
sounds
first came, that's what I experienced, just you felt like you had a little bit more leniency, but there was just a very strict, very rigorous. And of course I'm sure times have changed now. That was many, many years ago. But it just, even in terms of, just talking to teachers, they just, you had to make sure you hear the lesson the first time. There was no like, okay, let's repeat this over and over and over. Like, you really want to pay attention, make sure you hear it the first time. Whereas here, they'd say, okay, well, I missed that, teacher. Can you just say that a few more times for me? And we didn't really, it wasn't as much like that. So yeah, you really learn to just listen the first time to make sure you're not missing anything. So it's much more rigorous. And I really, at the time didn't really appreciate it as much. But as I got older, I see now the value in really paying attention and trying to hear someone when they're speaking, and, just trying to stay focused as much as you can to get to your goals.
Now, how did that prepare you, do you think, for the academic rigor of, school of dentistry?
I think just kind of creating the foundation that I needed to do really well. And also, the transition, I when I transitioned to the middle school and Hartford High, I was just always in different activities. I always did, like, the honor society or sports, or just other different societies in school. So it kept me really disciplined. It allowed me to kind of manage multiple things at once. So when I, got used to doing all of that, then by the time I got to college, then I was like, okay, I'm used to this. Like, how can I, like, just like a different environment, just still kind of managing multiple tasks to,
Mhm, mhm.
do your
Yeah,
goals,
so
basically get to your goals.
understood. Yeah, multitasking, that
Yeah.
definitely is something that is taught through education. And then I think also socially too, it's kind of expected, especially of females.
Yes.
I mean, even though research shows that, it's tough for people to literally be able to multitask, but socially, females are always saying, we have multiple things going on at once. And,
Yeah.
where guys are like, look, I need to just focus on one thing at a time.
Yeah.
What is it that is a part of like your value system or your belief system that, or principles you live by? Ethics, morals.
um I think ultimately, in terms of a belief system, is my goal. Well, my goal is to really treat everyone fairly, treat everyone with respect, and treat everyone equal, essentially. So, I think life, is not really measured in, say your career or what you do. It's truly measured in who you are as a person. So if you really, treat, say, someone who, say, cleans the buildings, right? Versus the CEO. If you treat those two people differently and you're kind of disrespecting one person, but you're not disrespecting the other, if you're disrespecting one person, you're not respecting the other person, then who are you? What is your character like as a person? So I
Mm-hmm.
think my belief, what I truly believe in is just treating people fairly, treating people equally, treating people with dignity and the dignity and the respect that they deserve, no matter what you do. Like I said, it's about who you are and not about what you do. So, ultimately, it doesn't matter what kind of, house you have, or your place in society, your socioeconomic status, your, how many cars you have, or what kind of car you drive. Is about who you are as a person and how you can contribute to society and make society a better place.
Hmm. I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
Sincerely, contributing to society and
absolutely.
making society a better place. And then also that point that you brought up, and I grew up with this myself too, Alicia. Like
Yeah.
growing up in the household, it was like, look, wherever you go when you work, or
Yeah,
whomever you come in contact with, be kind to that person.
absolutely.
'Cause
It's
you never
important.
know how
Mhm.
that person can turn around and treat you, or who they
Yeah,
really are, or where they're headed, or maybe if just your
true.
smile or your thank you or
Yeah.
your hello kept their life moving forward in a
Going.
positive
Yeah.
direction. Like, we never know how our light can, positively affect other people. So I
I
think that's
agree.
awesome, because that's the truth. Like, I
Absolutely.
know myself, I'll end up having a conversation with the cleaning people just like I would if I met
Yeah,
the CEO. But I think that
exactly.
was instilled. It
Yeah,
wasn't something that was like just innate. It was also something that was taught, like growing up, and it
true.
was kind of something that was instilled as a part of like the moral fabric of a
Yeah.
person's character. like,
Yeah.
that you're talking about. And I think that's awesome. Like,
Yeah.
and if I go back to that point of, you talking about, purpose and having an impact in the world,
Mhm.
what do you consider to be a part of your why? Like, what's your why that
Yeah.
led you to where you are now in dentistry, a mom and a wife? Like, what's your why that keeps you going?
I think well, my why is truly my family, starting from my family in Jamaica to my family now. When I was a little girl in Jamaica, my grandmother really inspired me. She, told me about stories when I was a little girl, when she used to go to a dental office, the dental clinics back then, they would kind of numb patients, a few patients at a time ultimately. So say if, you wanted to get a procedure done, you'd have to sit and wait. They basically, my grandmother in Jamaica inspired me to become a dentist because what she did was she instilled in me the value of hard work. And what she told me was that, a lot of stories about when she was younger, how, they'd numb a few patients at a time. So let's say if you had a procedure to get done, by the time the dentist got to you, you're numbing, the medicine might have already started wearing off. So you kind of had to, endure procedures and you're not fully numb and you're very uncomfortable. And, they weren't waiting for you to get numb or, they weren't asking questions, which is kind of like, let's go, 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 because we have people waiting. It's a full clinic. So she just told me these stories of how she was very fearful of the dentist. And every time she went, wasn't for preventative care. It was actually for, exodontia or for extraction. So when I became, when I was a child, I really just kind of my wheels started turning. Like, how can I make this different? How can I be a better person, a better dentist so that my patients could be more comfortable with me? So in that moment, I decided, okay, I want to be a doctor. I'm not sure what doctor I want to be at, but I do know that when I get there, I want to make sure I treat people with compassion, with kindness, and really like, talk to them, have them be able to talk to me and tell me how they're feeling and what they're going through. I wanted to change lives and, really just make it make the process as comfortable as possible.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I really like, that you're sharing the experiences of your family has helped you decide upon your profession and your
Yeah.
why in order to be able to um, provide the best quality care that you can and with compassion. Now
Yeah.
that's awesome. And I have to say that I'm partial in this regard because when I see other brown women
Yeah.
that are within their profession and doing great work, it makes me smile. It makes my heart
Mhm.
smile to
Yeah.
see individuals, especially based on society and statistics that aren't necessarily always the ones that ends up becoming or is expected to be a part of like the 2% of the United States, which is the doctors, and to be a minority within that 1%, almost 2%, I think is magnificent, and it shows the strength, the human spirit, and strength that we have within us to be able to overcome, any hardships, regardless of what our background is, in
Yeah.
order to be able to end up being a part of the forefront and to have a great impact.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, have you had any of those moments now where where you've met with like a patient and then you kind of reminisced on what your grandmother explained to you about like what it was like to be with the dentist in Jamaica?
Yeah. Well, I meet like sometimes some older women and they'll say, this is the first time I'm ever meeting like, a female dentist, or even a black woman dentist. So they'll say that with me and and we'll kind of joke around with each other and there's just always this, very proud and they'll tell me stories that, they never really experienced diversity in medicine. So that's something that,
Mhm.
I'm really proud of. I think that that's one thing that has been improving over the years with a lot of the programs, educational programs, and really trying to improve diversity in medicine. Um, it's just even for I think of young children that I see, like parent, children will ask their mom, was she the doctor? And they're just just to see that role model. I think that's what even makes it amazing too, working in the inner city and being a role model for little girls and little boys. It's pretty incredible.
Yes, yes, that is a part of it too. Yes, to be able to continue the legacy, so we can
Yeah.
continue to see more of us in positions of, influence that are able to provide the care. Because we also have, whether it's directly or distally through our family, the understanding of the experiences of when things are not done, at a particular standard, ethically and professionally, to be able to do things with high levels of excellence, and to be that Black excellence and that Black girl magic, like people always talk about hashtagging. And
Absolutely.
sincerely, I think it's just awesome. And I'll just get so excited. I can go on a tangent. So I want to stay focused while we have this
Yeah,
conversation. But in
absolutely.
all sincerity, I think it's awesome, just to even hear generationally,
Yeah.
the impact of the, dentistry, and to see where it is now, and also who is a part of the leaders,
Yeah.
within the field, which is you.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome. It's awesome. I think that's a great story. I'm all about memoirs and stuff like that. I don't know at what point you're going to write a book about your life. I know you're
Oh,
writing a lot of books. I know you're an author.
you're giving me ideas, Norja.
Now, what I am going to invite you now is for we're going to call this a speed round, where I'm going to ask you questions, and you have to, whatever answer you would like to share. If you want to qualify, let me know. But essentially, we're just going to kind of go, boop, 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 and
Okay.
I'm just going to ask you these questions. Okay. Now, the first one is, what's your favorite song or artist?
I'd say Beyonce, actually.
I say too. Okay. The Beehive. Hey, thank you for sharing that. Now, what's your favorite series, movie or actor?
Favorite movie actually is Shawshank Redemption. It's a story of pretty much redemption about, patience and um, patience over time, and really a true redemption story. It's a beautifully written piece. Yeah.
Now, where's your favorite place that you've traveled?
I would say Jamaica, actually. So I currently work in East Hartford in Vernon, Connecticut. I work at iSmile Family Dentistry and also Dental Arts of Vernon. I split my time between those two offices. I really believe in just compassionate care for patients, really listening to them and their treatment needs, and try to make the process as streamlined and comfortable as possible. I believe in a very high quality relationship between a patient and a provider. I don't believe in just kind of telling them what they need and don't allow them to like speak or ask questions. I really give my patients the opportunity to say, I like this option versus this option, or how can I get to this option? So I try to just kind of have a really good dialogue. I try to explain everything and, have them answer, have them ask questions, and, just to make them feel really comfortable. So, definitely, love what I do. I also love the fact that I have the creative aspect in terms of being the children's book author, because I feel like it's a great outlet also, because, it's, as much as I love being a dentist, I also love to kind of interact with the community and with children, and really, getting the word out on education and literacy. So I very proudly founded this website called diversebabybooks.com, where we really show our mission statement, which is really increasing access to literacy, increasing early childhood literacy, and really stressing the importance of education, especially in the younger age group, because that's when they're really developing. Their minds are really ready to learn. Like you said earlier, their minds are like sponges. They really want to learn. So we have to be that catalyst to really teach them and get that information to them. So like I said, diversebabybooks.com. My books are all available also on Amazon. So, I would just love to, answer any questions. So, my email is diversebabybooks@gmail.com. So any questions anyone may have, feel free to contact us there. And like I said, the website is diversebabybooks.com. So any other questions, feel free to ask and I'll be happy to answer.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. So
Thank you.
diversebabybooks.com.
Yes.
Okay, you all go to that website today. Today, you hear what I'm saying? Because that is where you're going to be able to access great information and very well quality done art, along with great languaging and words, and stories for your children that will really get their minds thinking and focusing on what will help them to develop mentally, emotionally, relationally. It's really great well-written children's books. I'm telling you, I love it. And my profession is I work with families. So I've
Yeah.
worked with the, children and parents and things of that nature. Great books. I am so thankful today, Dr. Alesia Burge, that you were here to share a little bit about your life. And I appreciate your time. And I thank you so much for being such a great contributor to our society through dentistry, because of course, thinking about, life and life purpose,
Mhm.
we are way more than just what we do,
Yeah.
literally. We are so much more than what we
Yeah.
do because of who we are as people. We're able to have a positive impact on people's lives.
Yeah.
I believe, whoever we are, and who we can become is already within us. Sometimes we just need a little extra push,
Yeah, a little coaching, a little
a little
inspiration.
coaching.
So you
Yeah.
just have to, continue to inspire, uplift the people around you. My advice truly to come into any profession like this is just really persevere, continue to persevere through adversity. It's not going to always be a straight line. It might be a little curvy here and there. You might have a little speed bumps on the road, but just keep persevering. Don't give up. Don't let anybody get in your head and tell you that you can't do it, because you absolutely can. And just keep strong and, find creative outlets here and there to kind of keep your balance and your wellness all while doing it at the same time.
My hope is that you all enjoyed the conversation that we had here today. And please go ahead and view it again over and over again, and make sure that you are able to extrapolate those inspiring nuggets that you need for your life. And also look forward to the next video or episode that you will see on life lessons with Dr. Cunningham. Thank you so much, and you all have a great one.